junglers in your team, expect the roamers and EXP laners to want to play the same way.
Now, Fa and Kiowe will be picking very, very shortly. Those are the two that we looked at for our head-to-head. What heroes are we expecting Fa and Kiowe to potentially run? And for the banning process, what can be banned in order to slow them down a little bit?
Well, if the Guinevere is open, I definitely want to see Fa consider it again. But
Nope.
Because if there's a potential Olus again for Kiowe, you might really need something to at least shut her down in any way you can.
Yeah, the Olus for Kiowe, Hirara is still on the table for these two. Fa on the Ling, I'm pretty sure Geltek Cyber Team, if they're willing to give it, they're really just gonna pack a lot of picks that will give it difficulty. Kiowe has shown that she's versatile. She was the Ice Queen because of just how cold-blooded she is with getting kills. But she's shown this MWI that she can play the Baksha, she can play the Akai, she can be utility if her team needs to be. And I remember something that Kiowe told me in an interview. She said that her Olus works because the team makes it work. That it's not an individual pick for herself. It is a pick that allows the team to play around it in such a way that you're flexible, you can be aggressive, you can be defensive, you can use it as bait, and that's what Kiowe loves about playing Olus with her team.
Wow, they also took out the Sora immediately upon seeing that Valentina ban. Now I'm wondering, because there are just so many options available, but at the same time, does Geltek want to consider stealing away the Claude for first pick against Galaxy Phoenix if they just really want to make them even more uncomfortable?
Yep.
Or are they sticking to the more normal Belleric maybe priorities, which I think would be also great for Quedro if... Oh, never mind. Yeah, they...
Yeah. Very first ban. One pick that Navi kept spamming yesterday was the Lilia.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. GXP just straight up banned out the Olus. But as we mentioned earlier, you're willing to give the Hirara in this scenario then if you're GXP?
So the Hirara, the Claude...
Still a lot of priorities open. Phoveus, Freya, Esme even. So both teams are overloaded and they'll have a wide array of choices.
The thing is, I feel like they are willing to be less prioritizing their EXP lane simply because I think both these EXP laners, Ling and Liubon, have been two of the most versatile XP laners in terms of the options. They've even used the likes of a CC, maybe even an Alice, which maybe might be a priority later on. So they go for the Atlas instead. And that leaves Galaxy Phoenix with the option to still pick up the Claude if they wanted to.
Yep, I think that would be imperative to just pick up the Claude and take a page out of Navi's book. Just pick up the Claude and the Lilia together here and then just be ready to respond to maybe either a Paquito, Esme, Phoveus showing up, Freya. Again, all of the best EXP laners that we know are open. So they go for a different route. It's still a gold laner and a mid laner, but it's the carry and the gourd. At least this way you get some really good pokes. And if ever Geltek want to go for the more tankier junglers, they already have the shred with it. So damage isn't going to be a problem for Galaxy Phoenix. They now want to build around these two picks with more sustainability and a stronger front line.
Yeah, and honestly, some of the tankier junglers you actually mentioned are still out there, like the Baksha and Akai, if ever they do want to go for that, since it's very considerable that you're seeing main carries from Galaxy Phoenix already, but they go lock in 2 magic damages, Eve and Harley to complete their trio mid.
Yeah, this means that Geltek Cyber Team really want to play fast. That is one of the keys to victory that you can give for Geltek. You race for the early game against GXP. You don't allow them any early game pressure. You want to be faster than them.
Oh, but the Paquito though, I think this will help a lot in terms of alleviating at least whatever fast-paced early game they want to go for Geltek Cyber Team, and also a way to just keep up with the Harley in general. So they can actually mark certain people from Geltek Cyber Team through this pick, but at this point, the roam picks as well as the jungle picks for Galaxy Phoenix might be even more limited.
So one thing that Geltek needs to consider is now that they're playing a Harley, they have to watch out for the Hilda. Hilda is one of my suggested roamers for Lemma if ever the Belleric isn't available for her. She has played it already. They banned out the Marcel, the Atlas is gone. If it's not going to be the Hilda and they want to team fight more, they're picking up the Minotaur.
Lemma has used even the likes of a Cho and Kaja if they also just really want to go.
Oh, yeah, actually, good thing that you pointed out the Kaja. That works out really well with the carry and gourd.
Yeah, so that'll be a combo they could just rely on, but then that'll be really, I guess, less just tanky front lines in general. So maybe you really have to see the Paquito be a bit more hybrid than usual if that were to be the case.
If they're going to go for the pick-off in the roam, then they're going to have to go for something stable in the jungle.
Yeah,
you need a tank. Because with the Atlas there, and then if Geltek ever just bring in something tankier, it's not going to be a good time. If Geltek want to match the rotational speed, I think they're just going to end up with a Benedetta for the EXP lane.
But this is smart from Geltek too, because we saw how Galaxy Phoenix had a bit of adjustment with the utility junglers yesterday. Like when they went tank, their rotation seemed to be a bit more read out by the opponent. So even the Baksha gets taken out here by Geltek, only leaving them to an Akai potentially if they really want to consider that. But for Fa, I'm not sure if I want to see them go that route.
I think they've chosen these heroes and they're gonna have to accept they might have to just go for the tanks unless they really just want to play the map. But with the Link on, you can't. It'll be too much if they go for burst damage in the Nolan. If they throw back to a fighter in the Leomord, you're up against an Atlas.
Even the Yi Sun-shin is...
Yi Sun-shin too much. I think they just have to accept that they're going to go for sustainability. They pick up the Cho in the roam. Good call there earlier.
Okay, so it is going to be tough for Fa, but we get to see that later on as Geltek Cyber Team. We're looking at their sides. So they know that they're going up against the Paquito. The Esmeralda's not there, but the Yu Zhong. Into the carry gourd.
Yeah. And then you round it out with a Clint. Clint will have all the space in the world provided with the Eve. Harley for the initial burst. Yu Zhong and Clint for the clean up. And then you have the Atlas just to initiate things. I'm a little bit happier. No, not a little bit. I'm much happier with the lineup of Geltek. Galaxy Phoenix, they're not going to be able to find a pick that will just be able to match it. Unless GXP are going into this with a mindset of, we're better than you, we play better than you, we fight better than you, then go greedy. I invite it, sure, but it's too risky.
Yeah, because at this point, maybe Akai is just the safest. But that's the keyword, it's safest option.
Yeah.
You're not really going to be able to pair it up much. You're forced to use it almost defensively every single time. Other options we mentioned, if they want to go Assassin and just accept the fact that they play better.
No, has to be Akai.
Yeah, they're not. They're just going to stick with the Akai, keep it simple, and at least balance out the lineup, because I think it'll mainly revolve around the combos between the Cho, Gourd, or Carry anyway.
There is no mercy for third place. We're talking 50,000 for third, and fourth place walks away with 30. Still very respectable, but I'm sure the competitors want 20,000 additional dollars. It's two storylines. You've got the queen of Kiowa going against the fearless queen of Fall. It's Galaxy Phoenix versus Geltek Cyber Team for third place. Map number 1. Mirako Gideon, let's get it started.
Here we go. Welcome to the Lanadon, folks. It's about that time, the start of the day, the final one of MWI at EWC26. And we get these two brutal competitors who've gone for a lot of comfort, I'd say, for Geltek Cyber Team. Going for the EECA playstyle, the clip that we didn't see for the majority of the tournament, finally here for Tokyo.
And immediately, right off the bat, Sancha, unfortunately losing out their flicker early on, is going to make this 2v2 a little bit harder. Luckily, Cho in the early stages of the game going to be able to do things like that. Guerrero has to be a little careful here to maintain that pressure.
We got that first blood rate comparison. Geltek Cyber Team, they usually take a bit longer to get into the game. Meanwhile, though, GXP, known for the early aggression, and that's where I'll have a little bit of my doubts here. For the Akai pick on Fa.
What? What's wrong with it? I think that the overall composition seems good. They at least have a disengage mechanic. You know, it doesn't necessarily always have to be Fa being the aggressive one. First, Sophia loses her own flicker, and at this point, the mid lane is down to an even state. But just notice, everybody's coming down to the mid lane. Everybody's here like it's a petting zoo. Everybody wants a piece of it. Sancha, unfortunately, this time walked a little too far. Guerrero has to back out.
Seems like it don't matter. Akai, Assassins, it'll still be first blood for GXP. But a little bit back onto that topic, I feel like for GXP, especially yesterday against Na'Vi, it really felt like with these utility jungles in hand, it's not the comfort, it's not GXP. It's a good composition, it's just not Galaxy Phoenix that we've come to know.
Yeah, but this is the personality that I love to see from both of these teams, right? Just hyper-aggressive, I win lane, I win game type situations. Both of them can really get dirty during the scrum. So I think that at this point, as much as I love GXP, I do want to see like what the peak of team fighting compositions, or at least brawling compositions, would look like between the two.
And we'll find out who's going to win those 50-50s. So far, Ling on the Paquito, as expected though, winning on the lane just by getting the XP grab to really have a hold on that. As they set up for turtle number 1, GXP have a massive advantage coming into this with the Akai heavy spin. And Kuejo, just like any other Atlas, no level 4 just yet. Liubon chunked down as well. This looks great for Galaxy Phoenix.
Yeah, it just means that unfortunately for GCT, they're not going to be able to contest this, but let's see. It could be anybody's game here. Sondre playing with fire, getting really, really close as Ling trying to keep KyoA out of this. And it looks like they should be able to get this no problem. KyoA won't have the magic trick hat-trick to get in, and Fa instantly with a heavy spin, locking down 1 as the backline getting tight. Lubon finds it into Sophia with the help of the Black Dragon form, and it only gets worse from this point onwards. Real-world manipulation slows them down, but
Winnie,
not enough to nail them in. Winnie, I'm surprised, made it all the way, tried to go for the double wave here, and will give up just a little bit of that holy shielding.
Yeah, she's going to have to lose a bit of those mini waves as well. Heck, a whole cannon minion. She decides to stay in the mid lane here. Try to go for an ambush, but no, he just clears it out. And this gives Tokyo a bit more of an advantage to play with, because luckily for her, the gold crab spawns as well in the bottom lane. So gold lead, yes, GXP still on it with a kill and a turtle advantage, but Tokyo's farming up a storm on the Clint.
I love the fact that Tokyo this time not making the same mistakes as yesterday. Realize, you know what? As much as I don't want this carry to walk back into lane, it's also not worth dying just to deny her that space. But for now, GCT looking for that response. Lima now getting hit by deadly magic. Fortunately, no kill just yet. Didn't even force out too many battle spells as well.
Great Shun Pu. The poise and the composure on these ladies for a third place match. I feel like a lot of the jitters were already thrown out yesterday in the semifinals, right?
I was thinking the same thing.
They're so much more comfortable here playing it out. Even Fa, yesterday on the Akai, it really seems like she went in a bit too aggressive a lot of times, using the heavy spin earlier than what you want to have that ability for. But this time, we see the usage of it just perfectly done. Here in the mid lane as well, they give up Cryo, but they rotate to the bottom lane. Very well played. Tokyo's going to have to deal with this.
I mean, no matter what, with the flicker and the way of the dragon, their wombo combo. Okay, a little overkill here, but more importantly, even the heavy spin, unfortunately, they should be trading objectives on either side. And luckily, at least the turtle is spawning in 6 seconds. I think for GXP, they're just going to commit all the way to get rid of this tier 1. And unfortunately, GCT, they look back and they're like, oh, wait a minute, they're not getting off of the tier 1.
Dude, when it comes to sieging GCT, they got so much damage. Ling, though.
Damage is good. RWM comes out. Sondre out of position this time, but the Fatal Link does pull 1 back. Almost gets a disengage, but luckily, Lubon says no. Petrify is still good as they start making their way down. Fa and Winnie need to steal this away. Retribution battle. Fa takes the turtles. The Black Dragon form has been activated. Winnie in trouble. Forced to flicker. Do they want to dive this? They're going to make the attempt. Good dodge shot. Residue activated. Tokyo getting last shots in, but it's just not enough.
So close yet so far, but GCT, again with the siege of a Harley, a damage dealer in your jungle. You open up, you leave these turrets vulnerable, and these structures will fall in their face. Tokyo as well. Straight into the bottom lane, no assist, nothing on the teamfight participation just yet. But 2 structures for the 2 turtles that GXP have gotten, and you get to see the goal difference here from every single member. Even in the lanes that GXP have put a lot of effort to ganking, it's still GCT with the advantage. It's an 80 gold lead. Oh, solo kill?
Oh, shot residue already procced here. Lubon, does he want to actually stick around for the wave? No, he's going to call it off, even though Quejo is actually nearby. She's already spotted all 4 of the members making this attempt to potentially dive if they stick any longer. And that's going to be a trade once again in favor of GXP. Another turret goes into their hands.
Now it's back to the slow game. GXP finally able to get a structure on the board, and it's through this Paquito being an impressive force. Oh, all in!
Oh, now they find the angle to get the have a spin out and actually catches two. Quajo can't seem to get out of this, but the Fatal Links onto 3 targets is great. Right into the Petrify, into the Black Dragon Tail. The combo's good, but when he takes Quajo out, needs to get out of there. Ling flickers forward. Tokyo tries to cut him down, but luckily Ling still makes it out.
GXP, whenever they go in, I mean, we saw glimpses of this in the bottom lane, that overkill nature to them. When they go in, dude. They go galaxy deep.
Yep, I think at this point, they just need to figure out how much they really need to like get value for their resources. I know there's that big guarantee, but it feels like they're overpaying. And now Ling getting hit by Deadly Magic, including Retribution. One more auto attack might be enough, but too late. The Deadly Magic is already popped. Kyoei is going to chase it, play it nice and slow, and it's super understandable. You're too far forward, Ling just instantly one-shots you.
It's too much damage to deal with from both XP on the Paquito and Kyoei on the Harley. And the fun fact is that GXP just have no control to get this neutral objective despite Kyoei showing up top. And I think we got to go back to that point of the resource management here. GXP, yes, they need to calculate which abilities to use, but I think in particular they need to save the heavy spin for either a neutral objective take or to peel for the backliners. This is the entire reason they went for the Akai. Everybody's got Flicker. That's the gamble they played with. And if Fa uses the heavy spin early, that's what'll happen. Guejo just gets a massive set and she's already eyeing it.
They gotta be dependable. They got Lima in trouble now, as both sides have been contesting the mid-wave here. It's going to be a free turtle for Fa as they start to open up the map. But look at the position of Ling right now as the combo is good. Quajo forced to get on out of there. RWM to make the response. Ling gets Quajo, but gets traded instead. Not that worth it. I mean, I thought maybe they could really start pushing out Sonjike out away from the mid-tier one, but the ideas are there.
It's a gamble. I see the idea, I see the vision, but I agree, it's not worth it. Definitely not here. Galaxy Phoenix, they lose their XP, one of their main damage dealers around these team fights. Someone that you need to stay on the map right now to actually get some more to defend turrets. Again, GCT, as long as they play with Sheriff Tokyo, it just seems like they're going to take these structures down every single time when you leave these structures alone. We get to see the replay again. It's the all-in here. Flicker baited up from Quajo, but Ling just walks up, getting the knockout. Not worth it. The rest of the team comes in, and Liubon, of all people, was the one to get it. We have to talk about the flickers again.
Yep.
If GCT are able to bait the heavy spin, even with the Fatal Links, that means that Kyoei, Liubon will have a free way to just jump in the backline, and especially with this Dragon at 5-0. It's a massive threat to both Sophia and Winnie.
You know what? Let's pull up the idol list to see how truly dangerous this Dragon is actually going to be in this game. Because at this point, like, I'm looking at Winnie, she's already like 3-1. She's almost there, complete to that third item. But wow, the strongest ever going to be Sophia tries her best. Somebody needs to clean this up, but it looks like GCT get away with this huge punish for Geltek.
Oh no, the flicker burnt as well. That was brutal. GXP a bit miscoordinating the resources there as well. A little bit of a bad call, I'd say. The gold lead is crazy. Lemma, though.
It's only so much they can really do here. The Fatal Links right into each other. The combo is perfect. It is good. And Kyoei should be able to close this one out, even after the way of the Dragon. I mean, so far, GXP, is it the lack of information here, or is it just one mistake after the other? They haven't been able to kind of find their footing once more.
This is why I feel like the Akai pick again fits their composition really well, Gideon, but doesn't seem too GXP. They're so used to having Fa on an assassin, they could go for the cleanup. Now they don't. They have Fa on someone to peel in the back, so even when you go for those bombastic plays, there's no one to really capitalize on it.
I mean, if they do want to capitalize on it, they gotta make sure that combo is set, right? I think it's just a little bit of disconnect. Oh, wait, hold on. It's gonna be a Mystic Gush onto Liubon and now they can't exactly clear the wave effectively without having to send people up. Lima's gonna try, and with this presence alone, that just means that GCT are gonna start backing away. Cho is still a problematic hero to deal with.
Sophia's super trigger happy on that Mystic Gush, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my lord. It almost seems like every time she has it up, she's going to use it on somebody as long as she lands the Mystic Projectile. It's a lot of galaxies to play with, I mean, with that skin as well, but you got to calm down here, especially considering you have a Flicker that's easily baited out by an RWM or even a Dragon that'll be used by Liubon to get away from bot.
Okay, they use the heavy spin as a means lanes to kind of delay this tower take. However, with the Deadly Magic as well as the RWM, it's more than enough to blast them out. Sophia even using the Mystic Gush here, not targeting the wave, but instead targeting Kyoe. Now, with all the main abilities gone, this inhibitor is basically going to go down for free. What can they do to stop it?
Nothing. The Mystic Gush is already down. They don't have any resources to play with in Tokyo. Now with the Melfic Gun, we were already talking about how good the Siege is for GCT with their range and their double damage dealers. Lemma.
A forced play coming in here, flickering to the way of the Dragon. Lubon looking to respawn onto Lima side, pulls in the carry, but the Fatal Links, Lubon takes her out.
Winnie didn't have enough time to react to that play. Kueho, perfect match, cancels the animation with a flicker, instantly goes for the Fatal Link. Sophia!
It's good. It's good. Deadly Magic, 1.7k, worth it. Blows them up, no problem with a Chastised Pauldron already purchased by Lubon if things weren't difficult enough.
Oh my lord. Ling's been doing such a good job of playing that damage control game, just staying in the sides and keeping that lead from getting away too far from her. But now it's Lubon back again ahead with a Chastised Pauldron. She knows exactly what's a threat to her. It's just the carry right now to shred her down from the sky. So with the Chastised Pauldron, I don't even think Ling can actually do what she's been able to do on Lubon right now to dominate that lane.
So what's the order as of yet, right? Because the way that I'm thinking about it, Fa has been using their abilities too soon to try and disengage. I think the heavy spin needs to be the disengage at this point, right? You gotta sell that Fa's going to engage, and then maybe Lima gets a pick and you can wombo combo with the Mystic Gush. That's what I'm thinking.
That's what I'm thinking too. It's just all about the combo. That's why Lemma has been put in this really tough spot to just constantly go for anyone she can find. Usually that'll be good. If you're snowballing on the board, anybody kick is dead with the carry as well, right? So an extra guarantee. But the fact that these frontliners have all those items just gives Lemma an even tougher time. At least for Ling, she can constantly just push in top lane. She can constantly put pressure where Kyoe is going to be the only person who can actually deal with those waves on the Harley. But now it comes back to GXP. Have they learned from their mistakes yesterday on the Akai, on this kind of composition? Can they play to pull back instead of going aggressive the way they've been doing in the group stage? Great spot by Sophia. Again, it's Ling up top, setting up the waves for GXP, but GCT hold control over this bottom wave. Again, the heavy spin!
It's very early, and the Black Dragon form has been committed. They're even using the conceal to chase into the back line. Ling has to keep on pushing at this point in time. Fatal Links gonna connect on one. RWM on top of Sophia. Mystic Gush to slow things down. The Black Dragon is on top of Fa, but notice that the inhibitor is getting attacked, and finally GCT realize what's going on as they deny the recalls. This could be a potential backdoor, but the waves is done, and now we're back to this even state. GCT, they've already picked up the kill onto Sophia. They send their Yi back as they should be able to get this Lord for absolutely free.
GCT playing with fire, going all in on that fight, and it was a good play by GXP to try to hold them back, but initially it was Fa on the heavy spin that was just so off. It looked awkward. And it was on to Kueho.
That's another thing. I understand that you want to make sure you get rid of that like big AoE ult, because it's the only thing that's going to find that counter engage besides the Black Dragon form or the RWM. I think the GXP at this point, they got to play off of Lima no matter what.
Whoa. Aggressive move. It's a conceal even though it's
no flicker.
Already read out. Yeah, she knows.
It's, I mean, they do get the initial stun out. No projectile at this point, but it's on such a low cooldown that it doesn't really matter. And you can tell that Tokyo having the time of her life, able to hit these targets from outside the range. Ling, deep position. Oh, already revealed by that mid-wave. Kyoe
in 1v1.
Oh, this is not going to look that great for them, because Ling trying to make the attempt to slow down this wave, to try and desynchronize it. Good recall on the hat trick, and you can tell nobody can really keep up with that speed, but at the same time nobody really wants to die. So Fatal Links gets onto 2. Winnie gonna make the attempt to try and take our Kueho out. The heavy spin looks good, disengages. Now Link can get into the fight. Tokyo goes down. Sophia able to find in the back line as Link continues to push forward. Kyoe the next to fall to Winnie as GXP take back the space.
They break the box. That's been a big problem for them the entire game. GCT have just hunkered down with their composition here, playing pure front to back. GXP finally find a way to tear that box apart, and it was through Ling again, constantly waiting in the back, cutting the waves, making GCT look, and heck, baiting Kyoe's Deadly Magic. That gave all of the space for finally Winnie and Sophia to get damage done onto the frontliners, while Ling could use that distraction to dive straight onto Tokyo, who's 0, 2, and 5. She went for a glass cannon build despite that first death, and she's feeling it definitely here. Damage taken rankings though. Fa taking a whole lot of damage next to Kueho, Lemma and Ling following up next, and that's where you can really see that GXP, they can take the damage. They can go for these fights. It's just their damage allocation in the last few fights haven't took it far.
Okay, Kueho in a position to re-engage, but now gets the back line into Black Dragon 4. The combo's perfect! Sonjike takes out Sophia, and even with an immortality, Fa getting punished for the mistakes. Luckily, Winnie and Lima are able to get out of this, but all that pressure surmounted to nothing much as GCT take control of this game again.
And you just have to ask the question, when will this lesson be learned from GXP, the instant heavy spin? GXP, Winnie and Lemma are doing a good job. The Deadly Magic lands. That's an immortality gone for sure.
Can't do much about that. Tries to get to the fountain in time, but unfortunately still goes down. Again, wasted economy here. Despite it being dead even, the economy is important just to make sure you have, enough money to start swapping your items. But this Lord should be the last one if GCT takes it.
It's free. There's no way for GXP to contest unless Ling gets it, but there's no way she walks up. There's Kueho right there to chain CC her, and even just clearing out the wave might be a bit too much to ask for.
All right, I mean, they're gonna wombo combo Link for sure, right? Still with the immortality, still has Flicker, but he's dead. Fortunately, okay, instantly exploded, no way to get out of this. With that, I think that's the final nail in the coffin, right? By the time it spawns, about another 10 seconds, yeah, she'll still be dead.
It spawns right now. Ling will be down. She was the saving grace for GXP, someone that can actually stagger those waves while also looking for those flanks to really threaten this box. Now, no one can threaten the box. The only one who can is Fa. But I think at this point, when you're playing around the base, you want to use the heavy spin to peel for your carries instead of going in for a pick. This could be the Lord that ends the game. It very well looks like it.
I mean, they've got the extra damage reduction as they're looking to put the final attack here. Close out game number 1. GXP, they gotta be careful because, man, the damage from Tokyo, they can't really do much about it as well. Deadly Magic already out as Black Dragon 4 should zone the rest. Heavy Spin finally comes out a little late, but to now, it should be over. They can't close the distance. Lima gets the kick, but unfortunately, the Lord is just too powerful. That's game number 1, going over to Geltek Cyber Team.
Well played, disciplined, cold, in the nature of the Ice Queen. Kioi dealt with it so well. Everybody as well. We gotta give props to Kueho on the Atlas. Just a fantastic job overall. And we get to see again the small weakness that we were assuming was a weakness even in the group stage for GXP. What happens when Fa doesn't get on damage dealers, get exploited hard in the knockout stage, Gideon?
Yeah, again, it's a battle of holding attention, people's attention. So you make them look for half a second, they could explode and just die and you lose the fight immediately. But adaptations is going to be key. We're going to be throwing it back over to the panel right after these messages, and hopefully they can give us an idea of where these teams need to go.
No mercy for third place, and that is exactly the case here. After a grueling matchup that went back and forth, it was Geltek Cyber Team able to take map number 1. They now lead 1-0 in this best of 5 series. Let's go all the way back in time to our pick and bans, where a lot of games are either won or lost within, the first 5 minutes, which is the pick and bans. Now, there was a lot of criticism on both sides. However, one side had the most. Where was the losing point during the pick and ban process, in your guys' opinion?
I think it was the first 2 picks on the red side for Galaxy Phoenix. I really strongly believe they should have just gone for the Lilia and get their signature pick on the Claude. It gives them a lot of AoE advantage. It allows them to control the center while being comfortable in the side lanes. And most importantly, it wouldn't have led to that Harley pickup. I think the Harley was picked because they saw the gourd.
Yeah, I would have to double down on the Claude, and maybe I guess there could be a bit flexibility with the mid because I know they have a lot in their arsenal. They have the likes of the Farsight if they just really want to counter out whatever potential mid lane pick, or even the Lilia potentially getting picked up. But them trying to focus a bit too much on the carry, aside from it not totally a comfort for Winnie, I guess, also forced them to play around the carry instead, now that they were left with a choice in jungle last pick.
We set the stage for Fa versus Kiowa. Now, Fa statistically has great success when it comes to turtle control as well as the Lord control. Going a little bit deeper with the hero selection, because of the first early picks, did it not allow Fa to do what she needed to do for Galaxy Phoenix that has made Galaxy Phoenix so successful throughout the tournament?
Oh yeah, because they then had to play for everyone else. Fa had to support the Gord, had to support the carry, and it wasn't just her as a carry. Galaxy Phoenix needs Fa as a carry.
Yeah, you see remnants of that in, I guess, the timings in which she uses the heavy spin.
Yeah, too early.
It seems that they always comes out a bit too early, and you kind of see through that it is maybe not her best strongest suit.
Well, we talked about the heroes. Now let's look at the stats from map number 1.
Yeah, you can see that even though Galaxy Phoenix got all the turtles, this is what we were talking about in the pre-match. Geltek, they're willing to give up the turtles just so that they could get objectives elsewhere. They get majority of the towers, and they were supplementing Tokyo, sometimes Liubon, who was getting a lot of kills, to at least be able to get a little bit more farm for themselves so that they can help the team better.
Yeah, and I think what GCT were doing were more straight to the point. I understand if I understand if GPX wanted to be a bit more creative. They had the Paquito, so you see her trying to go for the backlines a lot of times, but it was a bit too much, especially in the early game. There was a time it definitely rewarded them, though. I think that was during one of their potential base sieges, but that was about it. Because again, it seemed more of a glass cannon EXP lane rather than something that could just complement what Fa wanted to do as an Akai.
There's a couple of actions that I want to talk about from that game number 1. The first one, we go to about the 15:30 mark. Now, this was a small mistake from Geltek that led to a potential opportunity for Galaxy Phoenix.
Yeah, they slipped up a little bit on the discipline. Geltek have been trying to send Ling to find the backline, to find Tokyo, to find Sonjeke, and then eventually they were able to get it. It's because Geltek just pushed a little bit too deep with the Lord up top when they didn't have to. They needed to usher in their middle minion wave so that they could healthily go to the tower. And it wasn't completely shown, but then eventually you'd see Ling and GXP just punish Geltek.
And I want to talk more about that moment in just a second, but Bree, let's take a look at our second action. This is going to be the very tail end of it. And this is where Geltek Cyber Team says enough is enough. We want game 1.
Yeah, you want to assign Lemma as the person holding the Lord or pushing it to the side, but even then, Lemma could barely just deal with the damage. But also, how could you just expect Fa to go in first when she's the holder of that heavy spin who should potentially push them away? So the front lines had a very brutal experience here in this entire game.
Now we got some comments from the chat, though. They've been getting active. And we love, by the way, you all talking. GXP downfall got to be studied. Ooh, that's a spicy one to start off. Cappy, why are you bringing so much spice into our chat? Keep it coming. What else do we got? Please, Fa, Assassin next game. So this is interesting. I actually was reading chat just a little bit, and it was like, Assassin, not Assassin. Is that the play? Well, Fa, Assassin next game. Is that truly the win condition? Clint, free hitting. Okay, from Gold Magic Finds. Hey, like I said, keep it chatting up in the chat. We love each and every one of you. Without you, this show would not be possible. Gord, what are you doing? What is Gord doing?
I can't blame Gord, though.
Yeah, there's just so many heroes for the Gord to worry about that it's really hard to find the perfect angle for it.
That's right, Gord, what are you doing? Call an ambulance. But not for me. Okay, classic. Thank you, Jonah, out there. Galaxy Phoenix, I guess, needs an ambulance at the moment, but it's okay. It's just one map. After all, the biggest Titans out there, aka Even Vitality, has even fact taken a loss, right, and managed to come back, which is truly phenomenal. Hey, you out there in the chat, thank you for getting involved, and you can get involved even more. 2 champions, 1 game. My Champions Pick event is now live. From July 27th, submit your predictions for the MSC and MWI champions for a chance to win 50,000 in-game diamonds and MSC 2021 through 2025 tournament skins. Don't forget to leave your picks under at MLBB MLBB Esports post for even more chances to win. Lock in your champions now and cheer for your favorite teams. My Champions Pick now live. Make sure, again, you're checking out those posts at MLBB Esports for all the updates and also to get involved in some amazing prizes. Hey, it's been a great day so far, and I believe the comms have been flowing quite well, especially yesterday to make it into grand finals, and Sadia has provided our radio comms.
Aurus guys, di sini mau nggak? Mau ini aurus nih guys. Makin lewat. Nih mitnya weh. Lihat ya, aman bisa nggak? Boleh bisa ke belakang. Gas. Belakang. Gas. Nice. Lagi dong. Udah NN sih. Sampai lagi kah? Sampai lagi. Maniak. Recall guys. Nih. Kasih. Sor. Gua naik. Gua juga. Jangan satu Vivi di sini satu. Dia naik semua sih cewek. Ya. Boleh enggak fight guys? Boleh guys. Ini Halo sih ketinggalan. Lampu di bawah. Bisa enggak? Bisa. Vivi. Itu bertiga. Kudanya guys. Nice one. Gas lagi boleh. Boleh. 10 ulti gue. Mitnya clear out. Ini guys, gas lagi. OTW. 5 detik. Ini slow nih dia. Makan lagi. Valennya. Nice one. Nice. Lapu ini dia. Masuk. Aman. Wait, dapat buff biru. Kadi. Viva tolong. Stiker karinya ya. 10-52.
Vitality, they were having fun during that semifinals series, but they started having fun, I would assume, after map number 1, because remember, it was Geltek who actually ended up taking that map in convincing fashion. But Vitality got the job done. We await, of course, what they're going to do in the grand finals a little bit later against Na'Vi. We head back to the stage for map number 2. Geltek Cyber Team currently lead. Now, I told you I would do it. I'm bringing it back. We were at that 15-30 second mark, that small mistake from Geltek that led to an opportunity for Galaxy Phoenix. Galaxy Phoenix ultimately ended up losing the map. That opportunity was very small, short-sighted, and Geltek was able to recover. Now, what could have led Galaxy Phoenix to take that moment, that lapse of judgment from the side of Galaxy Phoenix into a victory?
Well, afterwards, they got out of their base and was able to get just a little bit of control in the map. But then the problem was they got caught out yet again. So they really have to be careful with that.
Apparently, we just had a body cam from the coach himself.
Wow.
So that's kind of cool, right? Actually, I don't think I've ever seen a body cam from a coach to see what they're looking at.
I thought we weren't allowed to see the notes.
That's interesting.
But I think it was hidden anyway, but that's cool. That's how it looks like.
Yeah, that's actually really dope. They get out there and get a chance to obviously get the viewpoint. Because, I mean, it's a lot to manage as a coach. I mean, you're talking about 5 players, 133 heroes that you have to go through, the different synergies. I mean, I'm blown away each and every single draft hearing you two just theorycraft on what's being picked up. But guess what? We get to do it again. It's one of my favorite times. Let's listen into you two. What's going to be going down in our pick and bans?
All right. So it's pretty much
Flying
similar.
clouds.
Flying Cloud. You take away the Guinevere. Geltek's going to take away the Belleric. There we go. Yeah. Pretty much. They understood. Like, Na'Vi really got to expose Galaxy Phoenix too well.
They're playing on the same side.
Yep,
right?
same side.
So they haven't really changed sides. And I believe there are stats to actually back that up. They might be a bit more comfortable doing it. GXP has barely won on the blue side, if not 0. Like, they haven't won a single game on blue. So even now that I feel like they did the map decision, they'd rather play it in red and just maybe address some of the mistakes that they had earlier on.
So they take out the Atlas. They will take out or leave open the Aulus, and it makes sense. They banned out the Valentina earlier, which is why Geltek was able to rush pick the Atlas. So knowing that they also banned the Valentina now, they understood that they needed to take the Atlas away as well. I think Geltek will be encouraged to consider their Aulus option open, but then of course, if possible, maybe just double down on the Baksha.
are we not prioritizing the Hirara anymore too? Like, was it open earlier?
Yeah, it was
right?
open. No one picked it up. I think no one wanted to pick up because
Yeah.
they saw the Atlas. Now this is very interesting. That they rush pick the carry. Are they potentially setting up themselves to just go for jungle utility and they want to make sure it's safe?
They're doing something very similar to what GXP did
Yeah.
in game number 1, except that this time they're on blue side. So GXP will have the gourd to themselves, and both Belleric Atlas are already gone.
Yeah.
So what else can we expect? Do they go XP lane this time and maybe...
You know, just I feel like you can keep the options open still. Just pick up your Claude. Oh, whoa. Whoa! Where is this coming from? A Khalid roam? This early? When there's so many power picks that you can both be fighting for. Phovius, Esme, Paquito, Freya, all still open.
I can only think of like them potentially anticipating maybe a Mathilda utility matchup, but that isn't likely to show up just based on the carry that you're seeing right now. So what could be the plan here? Is it just really faster movements overall for GXP? Are they picking up an assassin that will move around the map much faster and switch it up as what we've been seeing in the comments so far? But Geltek won't really react to that just yet. It's just the Esmeralda and the Kimmy that they lock in so far. So much DPS.
Great sources of damage. You have a strong front in the Esmeralda. You're most likely going to round it out with with 2 more frontliners if you're not going to go for pick-off combos with the carry burst. So far, Geltek has made better decisions in this draft. The fact that they get the Esme.
Yeah.
Not a lot of heroes right now are going to be able to handle the Esmeralda. Gassy Phoenix can't even consider picking up a CC just yet because you don't even see the jungle. You pick up the CC too early, and then Geltek can just switch it up to an assassin again.
Yeah, and they just have so many ways to kite, so you might want to be careful about that if you're Galaxy Phoenix and looking to just go for a composition that might just attempt to dive, because we don't know what the jungle or the EXP lane is going to be just yet. But knowing that this is a Khalid, they might be a bit more playful and creative around the team fights. And this Alice just proves us that that might be the way to go.
All right. So at least you have some flexibility. This I like from Galaxy Phoenix. They have an option to put it into the jungle, option to put it in the EXP, option to... Those are the only roles you can put in Alice. And I thought for a second I was like, wait, there's one more. Nope, it's only 2. So they have that flexibility to work with, and that's great. You can still slot in heroes potentially like Glue if you want to, depending on who goes where.
Can I just say Coach Osprey's feeling good about this? I just know he's feeling good about this.
Yeah.
He did a 6-7. Like,
He did? Oh, I missed that.
he just did.
I thought he was just
We are
shrugging.
not bringing that back on this desk.
Okay, we will
Yeah.
not. We will not.
It's way past its time.
Kyoei's smiling though. That's another thing. So I wonder if this is something they already have an answer for, as they've also been banning out much of the other options in the jungle. So it could be one way or another them also trying to force it to go down that route if ever Galaxy Phoenix eventually does run out of things to consider. But so far, I think majority of the counters to it are going to be available as well if they just really want to match it. There is also a Baksha option still available for Geltek. Kyoei has previously used it, but again, there's a gourd already, and
Yeah.
I think they will have eventually more answers to that since we don't have the gold lane for Galaxy Phoenix just yet.
Yeah, there's a combo in the Kimmy and the Fredrin, but then with the Alice and Gord, it might be tough. Not impossible, and it wouldn't be a bad pick. It's just more of like, if you go jungle utility here for Geltek, you are choosing to have a more difficult time.
What else can they... I mean, if it's the Olus is also still there, if it's comfort that they want to go for. Suyo is gonna be the jungle for GXP.
So it's Alice EXP for the Esmeralda. All right, they just choose to sustain the lane and just hold down the fort there. They have the damage profile to deal with this already. So you can just double down on... I don't think they need to go pick off, but if they go for... Oh wait, no, Kaja and Kalea were both taken out. You don't need to go Cho.
No Marcel.
Yeah, no Marcel available. Coelho. Hilda's not gonna have a great time unless you just want to match the center
Matilda's
speed.
The Matilda's there.
So you double down and just pick up like Matilda Barrett's
Matilda Barrett's.
or any combination similar to that if you're not gonna be going for the assassin. But they want to go assassin, just match it.
Whoa!
Oh, they still go for the pickoff. They find the Franco instead. Ooh, with the Alice, with the Gord, with the Khalid, having a roamer that's very static once the ultimate is off with a bloody hunt. Theoretically, you could see the damage-centered mindset for Geltek. But with the Alice and Gord and the Khalid already there, I think Alice and Phoenix cannot go wrong with their last pick.
And the burst damage you have to anticipate.
Yeah.
So you really have to build defensive early on, but you also have to build like maybe a Winter Crown or so, just so you could ensure that your bloody hunt eventually gets through. So it's going to be a tough position for the Franco right here in this game, and no matter how you look at it. And the carry is actually still... Oh no, it's on the...
It's on the other side.
Claw is
yeah,
going
of
to be
course,
next.
you mentioned it.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? I'm much happier with the Galaxy Phoenix draft now. The Alice into 3 actually salvaged it for themselves. Geltek picking up the Franco out of nowhere. I think we're going to go 1-1 after this.
Head back into Flying Cloud. It's Galaxy Phoenix versus Geltek Cyber Team. Now, going back in time, Geltek did in fact win map number 1, which puts them up 1-0. Now, 1 map away from being up 2-0, and therefore potentially being $50,000 richer. This matchup means a lot. Pride is on the line. Do you want to go home without the podium finish? You've got to make that decision as a competitor. We head into map number 2 between Galaxy Phoenix and Geltek Cyber Team. Miracle Gideon, take it away.
Here we go. Oh my goodness. Did Geltek Cyber Team just say we're better? Is that what the idea was with the draft? Because I thought with the Kimi and the carry, they would build up for more of these tanks up front. But then they pick up a Hayabusa and a Franco to round up the drafts.
That's the thing. That's the Osprey, man. They're making sure they're giving you a 1-2 punch, but you don't see where the diversion is coming from. Now, as the early game continues to progress here, Lima is going to start off figuring out exactly where Kioe is going to start on this map. Looks like both sides will end up towards the EXP sides of the map as well. But hey, you know, early aggressive plays, and most importantly, Lima just being an absolute nuisance has costed first blood in the mid lane.
Maybe that's the vision. They know Lemma on a Khalid will probably be rotating and, you know, utilize the early advantage. Ling just takes a free turret shot and a few more hits. This is going to be very punishing.
They're still trying to get on top of Sanj, and again, Lima making attempts like this. This is an early game that's not great, but they still get Sanj back. Now, trading for trades is still good, but Sophia did lose that flicker early on. The early game plays that we were expecting, not exactly as traditional as we thought.
Nope, but it all just worked out for Geltek Cyber Team, especially with a Bargain Hunter on the hands of Sanjika.
Oh man, that could be the... Oh man, these emblems, if only we knew slightly earlier, but even so, it's still pretty good. At this point, GXP, yes, mistakes have happened, but it's not the end of the world. It's not as vicious as it could be. I'm just more worried whether or not Sophia can actually hit level 4 on time.
Huejo hasn't missed a single hook, missed a projectile.
It's all good. And first blood, and now 2-2 even score, all within the first minute and a half here, not even at the 2-minute mark, as both sides want to look for further. I really thought that the EXPs were going to be like consistently moving around the map, but they're all proxying each other, and they're all looking for one thing, this very first turtle.
I think it's a bit of a misstep by Ling, though, to rotate so early and actually, you know, take some of those shots. Because I do believe Ling is going to be behind of Yubon. She's going to hit level 4 first, especially with XP Crab control over on Kioe, who's already there. Baw's going to try to take that away. Both hit level 4, no problem. Now it's all about the mid lane, and it seems like Sanjika is the one who won't hit level 4 after that death.
It's a little bit of time, right? Yes, EXP over time, they still managed to get it through, waiting for the opportunity, but Sanj in a lot of trouble as Ling is able to peel all 3 of them from the turtle side. They don't have the angles to get in as Lima is covering the exits. That's going to be first turtle for GXP.
Oh, missed a projectile on the Gush as well.
Back combo, not going to exactly land efficiently, but Kioe has an opportunity to maybe make something happen. Ooh, sees 2, decides to pull back. Good decision by Kioe.
And once again, it's GXP early on. This time, though, with an assassin, with something that's more comfortable on the hands of Fa. Lemma is going in deep.
And now they go with the Yoki Shadow kill, straight away flickering away to try to create some distance so they don't get run down by Sonjike. At this point, I would have imagined that the lead would have been more towards GCT, but at least GXP pull it back with that one play. Whoa! Throne Ruin coming down hard onto Cuervo. Can they get out of there? Can they punish this even further? No. The Iron Hook, too much of a threat. They back away.
See, this is the GXP I was expecting from game number 1. None of that Akai stuff, right? I mean, obviously for Fi, it just seems like the whole team as well, they're able to capitalize on that aggression that we saw. Sophia's still very much as trigger happy as she was in game number 1, but it's just, there's something now that can come in to help her out, even with Lemma on the lead.
I think this time around, at the very least, it was GCT who made the initial mistake here, but I think that GXP recovers a lot better as now they get the full combination onto poor Cuervo, and they've zoned out Sonjike as well. They're not going to be able to set up for a dive, but still pretty worth it. 3-2 now is the kill score.
The problem was just the picks, man. The problem was the picks, because now with all the aggressive picks in their hands, with Winnie back on a comfort pick, fun fact, in the group stages, all the way to before semifinals, to the quarterfinals, that means Winnie only played 2 heroes. It was Harith and Claude. So the fact that she tried her, luck with the carry, and the whole team tried their luck with a different kind of composition was kind of strange, and Iron Hook whiffs.
At point blank range, Traction Pulse also being utilized here as Fa, not 100% sure, will get right on top, hopefully making the call. Buddy Hunt onto Lima's side, it's good, but still able to power through with the help of Ling. They get away with the Throne of Ruin, but can they peel back as Tokyo now gets into the middle with the light wheels, gets one into Fa, Blazing Door comes out from Winnie, but doesn't have the Trinity to guarantee the kills. Lima tries the trade, ends up dying to Kyoe. An unfortunate 2-for-0 in favor of Geltek.
You cannot overchase, not against this composition, especially in a choke point with Sonjika on the gimme. The immobilization field could hit them all, and Liuban as well, catching Fa with the Falling Star Moon as she walked up, blinked forward with the Blade Surge. No more mobility resources to use, and GCT are back in an okay position. I wouldn't say back in the game just yet. They just have more chances now to come back, and it's Kyoe who's waiting for a possible steal.
I mean, it looks like it's going to be a 50-50, but they give it up entirely. They look for a wombo combo here, doesn't find it. Little disconjointed, Throne Ruin flickering forward just to make sure that Sonjike goes down, executed by Fa. And now Lubon gets into the back. At this point, Kyoe right on top of Winnie. It's perfect, but the flicker out into the teammates to protect them. Locking them down with a Bloody Hunt here. Unfortunately, still no trades. Winnie goes hard with the Blades to weapon. The Raging Sandstorm connects on the 2 Lima. Takes on Lubon as Fa chases, takes out Kyoe as well. With mid-tier 1 down, GXP has ripped this game wide open.
Fundamentally, GXP are solid, but where they shine most is when they can shine on their mechanics, just going for these chaotic brawls and duels across the map, thriving on mechanical skill, and they got exactly what they asked for. GCT try to go and fight fire with fire. It seems like GXP's flames just burn a bit brighter this time.
Oh, but we can't count Geltek out, right? Because inevitably, the one game that they were able to take from them, from Navi, was because of the way they played mechanically. GCT on the opposite side, I think they got to get into those brawls, those big scrums. However, find those choke points. It's about positioning. It's about finding the quick way to push them in together, pinch them close.
Let's see this dive in the bottom lane, an attempt.
Happens every single time. The Blazing Duet comes out. Traction Pulse as well. Winnie having to flicker out of there. It's a guaranteed kill as Cuervo just walking, impending doom. But because of that death, they do not sacrifice bottom tier 1.
A sacrifice for the bottom tier 1. I mean, that position is just all too relatable for me, man. You know, gold laners in the bottom lane play safe. Kyoe!
Getting chunked down to 10% of the HP. I mean, I don't know. You would have given up the tower, would you not?
No, I would
die for it.
I would die for it, bro. Turret more expensive than my life. At least in this position as well, because they have map pressure now because of the turret still alive. Doesn't allow GCT, especially on the Franco, to go and look for these positions in those bushes.
Oh, it's dangerous, but they now know that they now know that Kyoe doesn't have her shadows for at least 6 more seconds. They're gonna try and rush this down to Kyoe. Get it up in time, and yes, they do. Kyoe gets the steal. Sophia now in trouble as Liuban is trying to push him out. Ling, unfortunately, at 1 HP, can't sustain through the power of Tokyo, cutting them down with the true damage. Thank God for light wheels.
GCT coming back straight up right after Galaxy Phoenix got a big team fight win, and it was through playing it a little bit slower on the skirmishes. They know if it's just all about speed, GXP would win. All out, all their resources. It requires these cycles to land perfectly with the Mystic Gush. And even, I mean, the Throne Ruins. And, oh, Iron Hook from Guejo!
It hits, it's good. Bloody Hunt on top of it. They're going to run down Faz. There's no more cooldowns to get away from this. This is starting to turn into a boxing match. GXP want to get a little messy, want to get real close. GCT, they got to throw those jabs out before the haymakers come through.
Seems like there's no jabs being thrown at this point. It's all about pointing in the middle of the ring and slugging it out. Guejo just has that reach advantage.
Oh, and it looks to be good. Lima going to try their best, but again, with the fleeting time, that Bloody Hunt just comes off too soon. Wait, the quick set God keeps it alive long enough for the counter engage by Ling. The throne room was good, but they want to get out to Guejo. Hit by the traction pulse once again. Sophia looking for combos, and it hits, but no follow-up damage. When he's thinking about it, but with no ult, they can't do much. Fa in a 1v1 against Kyoe gets hit by the Oki Shadow Kill. Can't get out. Damage as good as Sanjike is able to back it up. GCT, these prolonged fights is exactly what they want.
Oh my goodness, the Ice Queen really living up to that title. Cold, composure, all throughout. These retreats have been perfect. Every single time it's a 50-50. It's not. It's 100-0. Kyoe just wins it. Even on the purple buff, wasn't able to win it out, and it was just Kyoe with the purple buff steal, baiting out the Soul Sever, taking it away. Guejo just looking with the Iron Hook, doesn't land it. The projectile lands, the traction pulse.
It's looking bad, and now with the Bloody Hunt into the Winter Crown to make sure that Lima can't go through. The Mystic Gush comes through, and Guejo must give up her life. Sophia finds it, but at this point, GCT, the mid lane is already getting attacked as they maintain the position. Ling fails the engage, projectile connects, and GXP, they've done what they can. To the Lord they go now.
And it's back to GXP now with an advantage. It really is a slugfest of a boxing match here in game number 2. GCT trying to play it a bit slower, but GXP just finding the ways to gap close. Kyoe held that bush. Good read by Lemma to walk up on it. Now it's all about the Lord. GXP have lost out the neutral objective battle to Kyoe, and now it's Lemma in his own.
Oh, here it comes. They go attack the backline. Ludon tries their best, however, doesn't get the clean hits as Tokyo takes out Ling. And on the opposite side, without the Oki Shadow kill, Tokyo able to take out Fa as well. No more combinations as they have broken the formation. Sanjike somehow survives, but the Bloody Hunt will guarantee as Tokyo flicks hers forward. Iron Hook, right direction. Unfortunately, just not long enough.
4 members down for the Lord. That was all good for GCT. It looked like Kyoe was zoned away, but it was just perfect because it bought enough time for GXP to utilize all their resources to secure that Lord. Then they saw the opening, they chased down, and GXP just did not know what hit him.
Yep, with the Holy Shielding down on top and mid side, GXP make another attempt. Throne of Ruin flickering forward as well, taking it. The combo's good as all 3 members from Geltek get beamed down, and they might actually find a 4th one. Unfortunately, unable to get the stun. However, they're going to still chase it to the ends of the earth. Sanjike, no passive, doesn't have that max range. 4 for nothing.
Big Sky Piercer stacks as well for Fa on the Suyo. We've seen this plenty of times. The gold lead basically non-existent at 11 minutes of the game. It's only a 2,000 gold lead. They do have an advantage on the far lane, but GXP, that's what I'm saying. When it comes to just these chaotic skirmishes, they just find a way to force even the most technical of opponents to slug it out.
That's the thing. It's about these combination punches that they throw. They manage to sidestep this. Thankfully, don't get hit by the Iron Hook. GXP can't afford to get hit by these big spells as they want to get it. Oh, wow. All right. Committing with the Oki Shadow Kill, forcing a lot of the members to actually get on out of there. And now the counter engage, they might be looking for it. Newborn, he wants it bad. Falling Star, move on to the backline. As Tokyo takes out Ling. Newborn buys just enough time as they back away. This pick is good, but now you can see, look at Fa, looking for a counter engage. No, decides to go into the mid lane as GXP is on the run.
It was supposed to be a boxing fight. GCT just threw a kick on GXP. Unexpected, another big blow to GXP's comeback run, perhaps. It looked a few times a bit too good with the Sky Piercer stacks falling into Fa and them getting back map control. But it's all about that overextension, right? When you're a chaotic team looking for brawls, you tend to also push that a bit too far sometimes.
Look, if the rules are starting to bend in this boxing match and bringing in their feet, they're going for those ankle kicks. And eventually, eventually, it's going to snap in half, man, if you're not trained for these types of attacks.
Those obliques, man.
It's tough. It's really, really painful to get hit by one of those. And not to mention, GXP, as the combination punch team, really needs to make sure that they hit some good targets. And arguably, I want to say they got to take out Koeho, but so many times we've seen the counter engage from GCT to be much better even without the bloody hunt.
So now it's about building it back. GCT finally get some space to play their own game, that slow macro style. Playing behind that jab, up top is the jab. They have that forced error built up, slow push coming in. GXP are gonna have to look for a gamble, a wild haymaker to turn things around, a wipe in the skirmish, or a Lord take where they don't lose anybody.
Yeah, look at these aggressive positions that they're holding him in no man's land, trying to make sure that they have that first setup. However, the backup is so far away that this could be an overextension, and I think that GCT might have just figured it out, but luckily they got into lane, forced them out entirely, and now they have a power position over this Lord. Should be pretty free overall, right? I don't see any contention because of this forced mistake, and now GXP, they're not really going to force this. They've already used the concealed. No position to fight.
Gotta be careful, Emma. Kuejo just needs one iron hook. The GCT chooses to play it safe. BOD built up for Kiowe. Take a look at the items. Chastised Pauldron as well. The Winamature being built up by Tokyo. That'll take all of the threat of the Claude and the Suyo. The two heroes that can actually dive together with the Alice out of the skirmish already. Is that a holy crystal that Sanjik is building for?
Yeah, I think so. That's, I mean, that'll hurt. It's going to hurt for sure, but at the same time, I wouldn't blame the decision because based on what we've seen so far, Sanjik usually isn't that... Wait, hold on. Throne Ruin does connect, Fa able to combo perfectly, but luckily the winner crown coming from Kueho is good enough. Thinking about the bloody hunt, they get it on towards Lima, and unfortunately Fa with too many stacks able to make it happen. Liubon, falling star mood, they were targeting the front line, but now Sanjik flickers forward to try and ensure this. Lima will try their best as well to peel them up, but now in the back, Kiowe finds him with the Oki shadow kill, and it's just too much damage for Sophia to take.
Kiowe found the angle through all that chaos. GXP thought they had GCT because they saw them split up, and now it's GCT looking for the end. Possible match point. Immobilization lands.
It's good, it's good. However, they need that wave, and Ling is able to delay this wave for as long as they can. Traction faults again, getting thrown out. Lubion trying their best to try and pull some attention to their side. The Yoki shadow kill might just find one. Unfortunately, RNG isn't on their side. Lubion needs to take out Fa. Fa gets on out of there just in the nick of time as Ling gets on top of it too, and the peel should be it. This is when Lubion should fall, when you have a raging Sandstorm, and especially with so much pain, and yet they don't give these kills over to Winnie.
How the heck did Galaxy pull that defense, not losing another base turret? It still stays just one base turret down. It was from the prior push. GCT, they have to push it a bit further. They have to be wary of these crazy awkward engages from Galaxy Phoenix. They're caught behind the ropes right now, on the ropes.
It's about that body motion, right? They gotta dodge. They don't mind getting nicked, and that's the truth of it. Getting nicked is okay, but as soon as that haymaker comes out, you can see GCT, they scatter.
They're swinging wild, that's for sure, man. Leaving themselves open, but that's what you gotta do. Throne of Ruin again, the haymaker landing.
It's not good enough this time with Winter Crown. Kueho can't seem to get out of there. Has to use the bloody hunt, and it's going. Winnie goes down as Kiowe finds a double to that front line. A single Oki shadow kill was good enough.
Winnie got one shot. Oh my goodness, the red tree from Kiowe plus the shadow kill took everything out of the Claude. And now it's just Fa and Sophia to try to delay this game.
Inhibitor open, Fa looking for an opportunity. One minion, they just need to clear it up, and with the red tree they will. Sophia out of position, and now the next wave has spawned. Not sure why Sophia decided to walk away like this, knowing that Fa can actually delay these waves. However, topside, there's just not enough manpower. 4 more seconds until Ling comes back up. 6 more on Lima, and 6 more on Winnie, as I need to defend with everything they got. Throne of Ruin is out, but it's too late. That's the end of the game here in the game number 2. Geltek Cyber Team 2-0.
That's match point. To do it with a composition that threw most of their main winning conditions that we saw from the group stage all the way to the semifinals out the window, to say, no, I'm just better. If you want to brawl, if you want to go and slug it out, we can do just that.
We haven't seen a flex like this in a while, to say, you know what you think at the meta? We don't care about that. We've got our own playbook, and I'm starting to like it. I'm not gonna lie. I love the way that both of these teams, their scrimmages are ridiculous.
These ladies are fierce.
We need more of this. We need more of this everywhere. We're going to be throwing over to our studio to break this down for you. I'm sure they've got a lot to say for such an exciting game, but only after these messages.
Geltek Cyber Team, they want third place. They want the $50,000. The question is, can Galaxy Phoenix dig deep? They're making too many mistakes, and now they're down 2-0 in this best of 5, which means Geltek is officially on match point just like that. Hey, welcome back into our studio. Guys, it started off bad already, right? Let's go back to that first minute. Geltek finds the mid laner exposed. They take advantage of it, and from there it snowballs into Geltek's hands.
Yeah, Sophia, Lemma, they were slipping in their position and they're trading in the center of the map early on, and it didn't take long for it to be translated to a small early lead. Credits to Galaxy, they were able to recover, and again, which is why personally I preferred their draft over what Geltek went for. When it was going good, you could see it happen. But then Mirko posed the question, is it because Geltek are trying to say with their draft that they're simply better? It's been answered, yes.
Yeah, from the Olos to now the Franco, some of the most unexpected heroes that are not entirely part of the meta are actually made work here by Geltek time and time again. And I agree, the beginning seemed a bit too sloppy for even both of their sides. I was expecting it to be a bit more difficult, especially for Geltek, to pull off this entire idea of a Franco. But even then, you see how they started moving. They were always together, and just by them doing that, it's crazy. I feel like Galaxy Phoenix have always been scrambling around the map.
And again, even going into the unique heroes, I mean, 30 unique heroes. They are the second most moving team when it comes to hero selection, which is truly impressive. Again, going back to that first minute, though, let's take a look at it, because this is where things truly started off bad for Galaxy Phoenix. At a time where they needed it to go well, especially given the fact that they had just come off a loss from map number 1. We go back in time to the first minute and take a look. Again, the mid laner getting exposed. I mean, we're just 40 seconds in.
Yeah, where was Lemma in that situation? You have to be helping your mid laner clear. I think she overthought it and thought that, hey, maybe the Franco's gonna be going into the gold lane. Nope, and that just left you vulnerable in the center of the map. You lose your mid, you lose your roam early, and with, as you mentioned, coming from a loss, knowing that if you lose this, you're gonna be down match point, you need to have a good start, or it's gonna influence the rest of your game. You're gonna be sloppy, you're gonna be taking unnecessary risks.
Yeah, honestly, if you try to look at the different angles Lemma might have considered as to why she just went straight to Kyowe, you would kind of understand her, right? Maybe there was a potential early invade 2 from the Franco, maybe there was a potential that the Franco could go gold, or not entirely in the mid, because that's not where you expect the Franco to really unleash the early game potential. But it's that's why just so much matters when it comes to these early decisions, because as we take a closer look to whatever escalated after that, it was much faster this time around for Geltek Cyber Team.
Yeah, and Geltek obviously uses that advantage. They take that momentum and they just apply it to the rest of the round. But you're right, though, Rinmar. Like, it was, in fact, of course, Galaxy Phoenix did, in fact, have some comeback moments. We now go a little bit deeper into round number 2, and we do see that it's relatively even based upon this action, right? I mean, they do start coming back. Galaxy Phoenix is looking a bit more solid, but still not so comfortable at this point.
Yeah, this was when it was going good for themselves, and you see the beauty of their lineup.
Yeah, I think it is also a moment wherein you get to see how eventually Geltek Cyber Team can be caught off guard, but if you prolong the team fights much to a point where you don't get to burst down anyone from Geltek and they just keep on throwing out their skills, then it becomes a favorable position for them as well, considering the carry also got the late entries.
That's right, and even at the very end, Galaxy Phoenix, you can criticize how they defended their base. The pressure from Geltek was tremendous, and as they started pushing into the base, you can notice Geltek clearly was looking incredibly strong. We take a look at that action, Rinmar.
Yeah, this was right after they took an unnecessary go or a fight. I believe it was in that upper Lord pit. Ling comes out. You see the idea with the combos, with what they can dish out. And say with what I said earlier about mentality, at least Geltek, or excuse me, Galaxy Phoenix, they were still willing to fight. And if you see them, when you do it layer per layer together as a team, you find your moment, it looks good. But they just couldn't do that consistently all throughout game number 2.
Yeah, it's always Geltek being able to get away. I mean, I don't blame it. It's a Hayabusa. So probably the next best option really was the Franco, which is why they tried to burst her down multiple times in a row, force out the Winter Crown. And in some ways, it became a bit favorable for them. But you also have to take into consideration that whatever you do, Liubon is still going to be there. She's still going to be in your face.
Well, Miracle and Gideon are calling the action, and they're doing a phenomenal job. And we happen to be recording them. Let's see what kind of antics they got into during the commentary.
Well, it's dangerous, but they now know that Kyoei doesn't have her shadows for at least 6 more seconds. They're gonna try and rush this down. Can Kyoei get it up in time? And yes, they do. Kyoei gets the steal. Sophia now in trouble as Liubon is trying to push him out. Ling, unfortunately, at 1 HP, can't sustain through the power of Tokyo, cutting them down with the true damage. Thank God for Light Wheels.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by play.
It's always entertaining seeing the commentators explode with energy. Bria actually made a comment about you when we had your hey, it was okay. It was a good moment, right? When you were up there commentating. Because when you're up here, you know, you're all poised, professional, wrapped up, right? And when you're up there, you just explode with this ball of energy.
I can't help myself. The games yesterday were very explosive. I think we would all agree to that. At least for today, they have been a bit one-sided though. So I'm really hoping we get a bit more of that same level of explosiveness in the next few games.
Sanjike was getting a lot of attention and for good reasons. Game 2 stats.
90% kill participation. That shows how well gelled together Geltek was. They played together as a team. They played around their Franco. They knew that they had 2 carries to work with through the Kimmy, through the carry as well, and they played around each other so well.
Yeah, there wasn't even a Sky Piercer in that lineup.
Yeah,
I
didn't
think
need it.
It was just pure team fighting and winning out, and that's what gave them the advantage.
Man, Geltek is on fire. Coming into this, quite honestly, I thought Galaxy Phoenix was probably going to be the favorite, but Geltek says otherwise, and they have been looking phenomenal. Hey, we've got the EWC survey on your screen. Scan that QR code and give us feedback on what you think about the broadcast. What do you think about the Esports World Cup as a whole? We would love to hear your feedback because, again, for you all out there, you're the ones that make this worth it. We go back to our stage, and it's now serious business for Galaxy Phoenix. They're down 0-2, and they are forced to come back. Geltek is absolutely on fire. Little mistakes here and there, maybe hero selections going bad for Galaxy Phoenix. They've got a lot to fix, and they've got to fix it quickly.
Yeah, I hope they can shut up the haters and just prove, no, they're not better than us. Maybe equal footing, and then eventually get to the point where you can prove that you are better. Because so far, I have not seen the Galaxy Phoenix that wowed us, that gave us that surprise joy of, wow, where did this team come from? For a while now in this tournament. They do have to dig deep and just remember who they are and play together, play great as individuals.
Yeah, and they played 2 very different games already. Like 2 different lineups, 2 different approaches, but none of them worked just yet. So we really are looking for that same GXP that we saw in the first 2 days.
Sophia got isolated. She got punished. Again, we go back to the main storyline, and it was the fearless Queen of Fa. Is she starting to finally feel fear? Is she able to bring this team back up? Her stats were incredible. Arguably, she was better than Kyoei in the statistics category. It's not all on her, of course. It is a team effort, and I understand that. But if we're looking at Fa to turn things around, what does she need to do?
Well, has to start telling her team, I think it's time for me to take over here.
She should be the star.
Yeah, she should be the star. And it's this weird, awkward spot for them where it's like, allow Fa to be the star while at the same time telling each other, can we not go too far away from each other?
Yeah.
Can we time ourselves a little bit better so that, okay, if one of us decide to go and make that play, there's a lot of us that can get together and just answer it right away.
Yeah, because Geltek's the perfect example of them just being together.
Yeah.
Right? They're always moving as a group, and we saw that multiple times, even on a Franco lineup that they did field out earlier on. So I agree, Fa might want to take charge this time heading into this draft.
We had broken walls, flying cloud. Now we're going to get some dangerous grass. Now, based upon that map pick, how do we think about Geltek closing this out 3-0? Or could this play into the role of Galaxy Phoenix?
Ooh, if it's dangerous grass and Geltek that we're talking about, I might as well think that this will also be one of their more favorable maps if they were just to talk about their sheer rotations and abilities to move around the map and just catch Galaxy Phoenix by surprise, because they've been doing that very dominantly in the previous 2 games. And now I'm just wondering if they will just allow the possibility of another assassin type of comp to come through for Geltek.
I have one very simple suggestion for GXP. You're going up against a team that are playing around each other too well. They stick together a lot. I know Gord is great, but can you please pick up a Lilia? Or even consider, hey, if you want to go for something greedy and you play for a little bit later in the game, maybe pick up a Sicilian. Okay, that's like my bias for the pick alone, but come on, a Lilia, please.
Okay. Eve gets picked up here though, so the range will definitely be a problem to deal with for GXP as they get to decide on what their first 2 picks are going to be this time. I feel like this should definitely be the time to Claude, right?
Yeah. You pick up the Cloud now, you get that comfort pick, and then you pick up your assassins and a diving EXP laner, or maybe just an EXP laner that can hold really well, help dive alongside whatever the assassin for Fa will be. You don't need to pick it up this early. Just get the Claude, get the Lilia.
We're waiting for them to get these 2 picks that they could center their draft around. But that also leaves us with a question of, do they leave Fa's pick for second phase all over again? Do they rather flex Fa in the jungle rather than put her on a pick that's comfortable and play around it? But they get the Harith.
Just get the glue, Geltek. Get the glue, get the Phoveus, one of those. Even the Esmeralda would be great. You have so many options available to answer.
And that's also knowing you're playing into an Eve lineup too. The Eve is the first pick. You see what mid lane, what blocks could potentially be established for Geltek, but this is still the route. I think they have counter engaged. Yes, they go for the Khalid, but even this hasn't really worked for them earlier on. Now it's more and more boxes. It's a Hylos and an Esmeralda.
Again, Geltek, they play together as a team. It's so good. They have pretty much won the first phase of the draft. Well, I don't know what's going on. Okay, at this point, please, a Lilia. Maybe I would be okay with the Valdir, but I would love a Lilia at this point.
Yeah, so you have also a bit more of the burst damage.
Yeah,
you have the Khalid already.
Yeah, it's constant damage. You can dish out slows. It's not just a stun with true damage. It's constant little bursts of damage that makes fighting around your own personal box as GXP even more dangerous. Then pick up a CC.
I think matchups we see in the EXP lane are already slightly or they attempted to at least balance it out through the CC, but I feel like it's still gonna be tough either way. There's just so much to think about. You pretty much put both of your XP laners or both of your fronts forward.
They have to make the tough choice now of whether or not they can go for damage in the jungle or just accept that you're gonna have Fa once again playing utility for the team. They'll take out the Claude. Would have been great, but you still have still if the Clint option as well for Tokyo. So whatever Geltek is left with, it's just
But with the amount of fronts and with the amount of sustain that you're already seeing, very flexible to choose around the jungle to play around with, considering that they have both Eves and high loss.
from like a team fighting perspective, they don't really have a lot of hard CC. They handed up with an Eve. You have the Glorious Pathway as the high loss. It seems like personally, for Jump might want to lean into jungle wise.
Yeah. Of Faz comforts get taken out. I am looking at what a second time around in this kind.
Geltek Cyber team picked up the Granger. It's sort of counterintuitive to what they want to be able to do with the Lilia and the Harith. It's the double horse combo, courtesy of. They end up very, very fast. I think they're intuitive to your own goals.
And it's devastating because they're in last pick. Kai come through in last pick. It didn't really pan out well for Galaxy. Third game in the red side, but despite that, things haven't been going their way, so they just lock in the Suyo to wrap up this draft.
It's not just Fa. The rest of Galaxy Phoenix, the whole team, need to make some magic.
There is no mercy for third. Geltek Cyber Team have put themselves in a winning position. In this best of 5, they need to win 3. They've already won 2. Is one more in the books for them to close this series out 3-0? Or does Galaxy Phoenix have more life left in them? Can they go map by map to provide the reverse sweep? It's up to them to decide. But for now, Geltek Cyber Team look absolutely incredible. It's time for map number 3 between Galaxy Phoenix and Geltek Cyber Team. Mirako, get in. Let's get it started.
The question's in the air. So far, Galaxy Phoenix haven't been able to get a single game after making it to top 4. In a best of 5, they just struggle. Do they have the mental fortitude to come back? Because GCT, they just need a game to finish it off.
It's match point, and that's the high pressure, the high stakes that we've all been waiting for. And especially if GXP is going to climb out of this hole in this best of 5 series. Overall, I am a little worried, but at the same time, there are some interesting adjustments, right? Adaptations that we are seeing. 31% first blood rate compared to 42 on the opposite side.
You got that increase, you know, the first blood earlier could be first blood here, but Lemma flickers out the safety. That means, though, mid-prio will be pretty good, but Fa, sneaky, straight up into enemy jungle after sending Lemma up top to delay Kiowe.
And that's the thing, we were talking about it in game number 1 and 2. We recognized that the attention span seemed to be all over the place, and in game 2, they started to weaponize that attention span. Now, it's about dealing false information, feeling like you're really about to catch somebody, and then you notice, where's all my camps down on the bottom side?
Top 10 unpleasant surprises of all time right there. Bargain Hunter for Sophia, and it's double sprints for GXP. Not the vengeance you'd expect from Ling. I understand it, though. You really want to try to utilize the mobility to rotate around. Kiowe is just desperately looking for level 4, gets stunned up by the Blade Surge and chewed away from a possible level 4. That means Kiowe is going to have to look for a kill. Lemma doesn't have Flicker, but GCT cannot threaten Lemma enough.
I don't know. Now, I think everybody's getting a little antsy. That's a very early retribution. For what? Even. For what? And no need to use it for now. GXP on the opposite side. Let's look at the EXP, because so far it doesn't look like King is able to be able to deal with Lubon just yet. Not until we're expecting to see that War Axe or maybe Anti-Heal. Really depends on the scenario. But this very first turtle, seems like everybody is looking for a piece of it.
Kiowe's going to have to go for this Lizard before level 4. But GXP are taking a bit too long to set up for the neutral objective just because Ling was behind in level. At least Fa's got a level lead with the Suyo, so it's a Soul Sever plus a Retry advantage. GXP finally utilizing this lead right now to go straight for it, but Kiowe's finally hit level 4.
Oh, it's a good curtain call here, locked down 2, and even the Revitalize being thrown out. Quail trying to get on out of there. Ling able to find and gets the trade. Can she survive it? She does, saved by 5. Now the real one manipulation, able to clean up 1. Lima, quick sand guard, keeping him alive. Kiowe in trouble! No! And Lima still finds it. Lubon can get it. Able to flicker forward. 2 for 2, despite everything that happened. 2 for 2 trade turning into a 3 for 2 trade, and now Winnie able to get so much money down on the bottom side.
It's almost like it's deja vu every single game. Galaxy Phoenix go for Turtle 1, they get it, but the team fight is lost. Then you see Winnie who doesn't rotate, get goal down below. But this time, Tokyo got a kill and an assist. A few of the other times, Tokyo hasn't been able to be active now. It's a dive perhaps on Winnie's. A Manforce already utilized. Now Lemma can't get close.
It's a little dangerous there. There was a moment I was thinking whether or not they were going to use the glorious pathway early on, but they just use it as a disengage mechanic. At least before in the previous game, Winnie got dived instantaneously after that turtle. This time round, a little bit more counterplay for the laners. Sophia making sure that Quajo is just taking so much damage. Already chunked to 50% as Lima continues to make Kyoei's life difficult. Already with the Phantom Steed, but that's only going to trade ult for ult.
So annoying. Lima on the lead. It happened as well earlier in game number 2, and they actually won the early game. So it's the same story here with even more mid-pressure because of Lilia. Last game, I'd say Lemma did a good job, but unfortunately Sophia was left all alone against that Franco, and it got GCT a bit of a leeway in the early game to even out the odds. But now with the Lilia, it's just so safe, especially with the sprint and the black shoes, so everybody can do their own thing while Sophia just clears out mid.
I mean, Sophia's just the tax collector as well, right? Bokueho alongside with Sonjike, as soon as they start leaving that wave, it's not only information, but also, hey, I've been chunked out pretty hard on my way here, and I'm expecting the same thing up on that top side when they contest for Turtle. I don't think Winnie is going to move, but Tokyo needs to clear this wave fast.
Let's see it. Fa's already on a neutral objective. Kyo is level 6. Fa's going to be 2 levels ahead if she gets this neutral objective, but they reset.
Oh, Phantom Steed already being called out. They're trying to peel backwards, and this is exactly what they wanted to do, right? Get the ult out, start moving forward, and look, in through the mid lane. Lima trying to open up this map. Glorious pathway to try and slow them down as the turtle now in under contention. Fa gets it, and Ling zones away Kyoei in time.
And they get the kill, though. Ling gets away just barely. They might look for the dive here. They need to get something on the map, and it might just be a few more hits on the turret. Tokyo already with the Sky Piercer. That should be first item, right? Is it a Fury Hammer into Sky Piercer?
Seems like it at this point, right? It's only 13k overall total. Let's put the items and yep. There we go. Hunter Strike already complete. Man, this is going to be a little difficult because now that Tokyo, again, they're trying to make sure that Tokyo not only does not die, but is able to ramp up in terms of money so they have a stronger finisher after their big combos with the RWM.
And again, it's Geltek Cyber Team always doing such a good job despite GXP getting all of the neutral objectives.
They're efficient.
They're very efficient. They capitalize and convert on these objectives like it's nothing. Winnie in the bottom lane trying to siege. Now, if she waits a bit too long, could be disastrous because it is an Esmeralda.
Oh, they're already dropping down the Zaman Force. They're trying to cut them off. This snipe might not be good, but they flicker out of the way. Winnie losing an important battle spell, and GXP putting some decent damage onto the tier 1 interception as Phantom Steed comes through. Raging Sandstorm Alpha on top of you, Bond here, as Sophia now draws the battle line against Ling, who's able to peel for days. RWM already coming out, and they just need one more auto attack. Doesn't find it, but luckily they don't give up their life for it.
Impeccable zoning from GCT, and the decision making is just so clean. Down below they go. They bait out the flicker. There's a Manforce as well. That opened a window to punish, to convert on an objective. No structures for GXP. They can finally get on the board right now with a turret up top, but with the bottom wave pushing again, it forces Winnie to stay put as GCT will have a man advantage coming into the final turtle fight.
Look, it's still fancy footwork at the end of the day, and it's only 6 minutes 45 seconds. I don't know how long they can keep that up. It's just high tension so far. But let's look at the goal difference because the majority of that goal is leading into 2 different sides. But it's so minuscule overall. Phantom Steed, in trouble. Ling already dead, and now they're going to go for Sophia after the black shoes, sprinting the opposite direction as Tokyo is going to chase them down with the help of Kyoei, who finds the double. This should be a free turtle, but is there going to be a trade back?
No. The only trade is a tier 1 down below, and I don't think it's worth it at all. There's no way for them to get to tier 2. And it's just so sad. GXP try to outrun GCT, but Kyoei's on a horse every single time, chasing them down, outmaneuvering them. RWM on Winnie.
Oh no, Winnie might be in some trouble, but at least for Lima is able to clear up a decent chunk of the wave. Oh, gets out just in time. Quicksand got to keep him alive, and they managed to protect mid tier 1, the most important structure on the Land of Dawn.
But yet again, they bait out these crucial abilities for the defense. Hell, Fa gets stunned up with the Law and Order.
This might be some trouble here. Sophia trying to get the space back, but Sanjike is not making it easy for all the taxation. She's looking for some reimbursement. Black Shoes already out. Sanjike forced the flicker out of position. No RWM, as now they drop the glorious pathway, but Tokyo is finally here. Ling is in trouble. Phantom C from KOA to clean it up. Winnie able to get the Zeman points down just in time, but the interception, it was good, but they finally get Sophia at the very end. 2-0 for GCT.
Oh my lord, now it's a falling star moving on to Winnie. Doesn't have the Zaman Force Faz waiting on the orange bush over there, but it's GCT taking everything away, all of the control. Fa not even given the space to clear her own orange buff. It'll be fed over to Tokyo. And the turret down below.
This one skirmish showed so much attitude from GCT. They're like, for everything that happened in the early game, just a slap on the wrist, and just to make sure that it hurts the most, we'll break your pinky while you're at it.
It's a curb stomp on the wrist, not just a slap right now, especially with Kyoe on that Phantom Steed. Oh my lord.
It's escalation, man. It's escalation. If the slap wasn't enough, we go start going for your fingers. If your fingers aren't enough, we start going for the mankles.
Oh, God.
Nothing is safe. Joints are meant to be broken here.
I mean, the good thing for GXP is that Tokyo's got the Sky Piercer early, but there's no stacks on it, right? So there's something there, and you can already see that burst damage. Oh god. Luckily, Tokyo doesn't have Sky Piercer stacks. If she does, could have been 2 kills over.
And this is just only a 4.5k lead, right? Holy Shielding's getting cut down. And Lima died straight away to the Sky Piercer. Look for a second, almost connecting as well as Sanjike catches it with the end of the Void Rift. Now, looking to get at least one inhibitor, make their time worth it here. Fa in the back line, potentially looking for a flank, but nobody can come up in time. And now Sophia forced to use the ult already. Somebody's got to do something. They're giving up too much here. Another inhibitor might just fall because of their inaction, and they get it. GCT get away with daylight robbery.
Pulled a gun up on GXP. Asked him for cash. Went straight for the headshot. No cash, bro. Tokyo just shot them down. Oh my goodness. And the Sky Piercer built up from Fa is another desperate call for a desperate time right now. It makes sense because they need something back when they go for a team fight. They need an execute. But it's just GCT are so tanky. Every single one of them, Liuban, Kyoe, and Kuejo. We can talk about Tokyo and Sanjika. Maybe GXP could flank, but I don't even think it'll be enough to take them down. I think right now, Fa just doesn't have the resources to deal any damage, not even against these backliners.
Yeah, I mean, the truth of the matter is just the lack of money. Like, they have tools that they could potentially outplay, but it doesn't make a difference if you're getting stat checked every single time. Now the Lord is going to walk towards that base, and I don't know, Miracle, what is their only hope here to maybe turn things around? Do they have to just curtain call Tokyo and Kyoe?
Even then, I don't think it'll work out. Right now, it's all about clearing the way. That's step number 1. Can they deal with it? They have the Lilia, but she walks out of range, can't use the glooms, and the Lord is free!
Oh, they walk through, and all of a sudden, it's over. Tokyo takes out Lima instantaneously. As Ling's the next to fall. The momentum is big, and Geltek Cyber Team wanted to make sure that everybody here remembers the name. It may be a third place match, but that's an extra 20,000 in the bank. GG, well played for Geltek Cyber Team.
That game wasn't just a stomp, it was a slaughter. And Geltek Cyber Team proved to the world that they are indeed worthy of this stage, a top 3 at MWI.
Truly, truly a statement being made here. Such impending momentum. You felt it from game 1 to game 2 to the almost guaranteed finish in game 3.
It was a stomp throughout. They really punished every little mistake that GXP made, and we get to see it again here, how clinical it was. It was Sophia walking out of the range of the glooms, but it was Sanjika that actually poked her out of it. So it was another forced error, and Tokyo, again, the slaughter fest continued as she just rained down upon Galaxy Phoenix.
Oh, man, they tried to be proactive. I got to give it to GXP. There were moments in this game that they were looking for something, but you can tell that once the gas ran out, they were just running on fumes. It just wasn't enough, but so happy for how this all played out. We're going to be throwing it over to the stage with an interview with the help of Cheryl. Take it away.
Oh, this is not the championship. Even though this is not the championship win itself, this is such a win for the EECA region. You guys have definitely put EECA on the map here with this win. You guys are leaving France here on a win. What a spectacular day for you guys still. So what does it mean for you guys, to win this and, put EECA in top 3?
I think we can say the same. It's a big victory for ECA, and for our team, it's the best results above all of years from MWI to our region.
We're so very proud of you, and we believe everybody who is watching at home are very proud of you ladies as well. Now, it has been quite a journey, so can you share with us what have you and the girls from Geltek Cyber Team learned from this experience here at MWI?
In my opinion, the best experience what we have at this tournament is the practice of our teams from other regions like Philippines, and it's the best way to be stronger.
Now that you guys have secured this win, and leaving France on a high, is there anything you would like to say to all of your supporters back home who are cheering on you guys?
Of course, I want to say thank you for all of us who supporting Geltek Cyber Team. It's so important to us, and thank you for my parents, my friends, and to Marbon. And I would like to say it's on Russian because it's very important to our region. Спасибо всем, кто поддерживал нас на пути в этом турнире. Мы на самом деле очень довольны результатом. Всем спасибо еще раз. Нам была очень важна ваша поддержка. Очень надеемся, что в следующем году мы вернемся намного сильнее. Отдельный привет моим родителям, Ане и Марбону.
Congratulations on that win still. Remember the name. It is Geltek Cyber Team completing their journey here at MWI with a podium finish. Nevertheless, back to you guys at the studio.
Geltek Cyber Team came into the tournament with a mission. It was to gain the championship. Yes, they might have fell short, but they end up accomplishing some incredible feats. We're talking third place, walking away with $50,000, a tremendous amount of pride also for their region. Geltek Cyber Team, congratulations for your podium finish. For the fourth place of Galaxy Phoenix, you should also celebrate your accomplishments. Making it to top 4 is a tremendous accomplishment in its own right. And walk away with your head held high and be proud of what you've managed to do in the 2026 MWI competition. You ladies are some of the best in the world, and you need to understand that. Please walk away with your head held high. Hey, big accomplishments from Geltek Cyber Team, though. A 3-0 victory is tremendous. We talked about what it meant to not only podium, but also earn that additional $20,000, not only for the players, but also for the org themselves.
Yeah, Geltek Cyber Team, and especially KOA, after her performance, star-making performance in MWI 2024, missing out in 2025, coming back here with a team of, at this point, rookies for an international competition, solidifying the fact that the top 3 regions for women's MLBB after MWI this year are EECA, Indonesia and the Philippines, and of course we're going to figure out like where they are going to be placing after the grand finals. It's a massive achievement, and what a journey for them.
And they did shout out these particular regions too, because they believe that it's been one of their best experiences here in MWI, if not the best. The fact that they were able to also experience how it's like to play against different regions, the more stronger regions that they would consider for themselves as well. And it's unbelievable because Renmar did point out that this is Kyoei's return, but it's also her return alongside a bunch of rookies, and they did not play as if they were rookies nor newcomers to the professional scene at all.
Not at all. Kyoei was a tremendous talking point throughout our entire tournament. Now, again, to celebrate Galaxy Phoenix, I know I had to do the thing. I had to put the pressure on Fa, right? But that's just, hey, look, I want to express that as commentator talk. Fa has been a tremendous competitor in this MWI competition. And I understand they lose 3-0. But we have to celebrate Ling, Fa, Sophia, Lima, Winnie for their tremendous accomplishments throughout the bracket.
Yeah, for Cyber Phoenix, I think a lot of the results that they got after the initial wins came from a lot of respect from their opponents. They saw what their Belleric Guinevere could do, what it means to take away the comforts of Lima and Sofia, give them a lot of difficulty so that in turn Fa would have a difficult time. Every result that we saw, every loss that we saw from Geltek, or excuse me, from Galaxy Phoenix came from the fact that teams needed to deal with them, and they were relentless in doing so because of how skilled they are. I am excited to see where this team will go moving forward and how they'll grow from this experience.
And I know for a fact that they will go the distance because they've been through no joke. They've been through probably one of the hardest paths to MWI 2026 or even building up their career in general, because I believe they've also been one of the only teams we have here in MWI to play in even their region's main leagues alongside their male counterparts in the league. So they have a lot of experience. They've been through a lot of heartbreak, but at the same time, I think this feat, this achievement that they've been able to secure is something that they should just use as motivation to keep pushing forward, because they do have the potential.
And looking at the stats briefly, Geltek, they controlled this map number 3 very well from start to finish. Reminiscent of the first 2 maps that they played nearly flawlessly. There were brief moments of Galaxy Phoenix coming back and striking while the iron was hot, but it was Geltek consistently taking back control to earn